Hello to all my people, and if you're watching live, checking us out on YouTube, or listening on your favorite podcast provider, you are most definitely my people. Welcome to another episode of Botch Bots and Share Shots, powered by Last Word on Sports. I am your host, a chef by trade and a mark by choice. I am the Will Gray, and joining me tonight is the Concrete Dragon. Tristen Thai is back, aka Ikuro Kwon. Hell Contra. Brother, how are you, man? Welcome back. Thanks for chatting about some wrestling with me, man.
Yeah, thank you for having me, bro, man. It's been a long time. It's
I
been
uh I feel like since I've been following your career over the last 2 or 3 years, I said the same thing with Bougie. Some of you guys, I just feel like I have to check in with you about once a year or so because you guys do so much that I got to come in. We got to have the conversation. And this is going to be one of them, man. If you're ready, let's just dive right into it.
yeah, absolutely, man. What you want to talk about?
Let's start with the MLW. You guys have been killing it lately. The new TV deal popping off, everything that's exciting and coming up. You just had Battle Riot 6. It's a huge 40-man battle royal. What's it like with you going into a match like that, knowing what's on the line and the amount of talent that's going to be in and out of that ring with you while you're there?
No, Battle Riot is always cool because, like, there's always going to be surprises and just a lot of eyes on who's going to come out and what type of matchups that people really didn't know they wanted to see until they saw it. 40 guys, like it's a lot. It's a lot of men, right? So going into that and also being in a different a different state of mind where this is my like return back to the Battle Riot, right? Like I can't like my first Battle Riot was Battle Riot 3. So and then I was gone. So to come back Battle Riot 6, to be back with Contra and to be in a different position in Contra in terms of status. Before I was, you know, I was the one that would take a charge. I was the one that would get, get the ass beat. Like that's what it was. I was the foot soldier, and I understood my role. Like yes sir, no sir. Now I'm coming in. I'm definitely more grown than when I left. I have way more confidence in knowing what I contribute and what I can do. And now being asked to come back, because I didn't ask to come back, they came to me, which automatically validates the work that I knew that I was putting in, because it wasn't geared towards that. It was to get the eyes of to get the eyes of the ones who I aspired to work with and work for, and yeah, to let them know that they made a mistake letting me go respectfully, because I think I would have maybe parted ways in some ways, but at the same time, like I knew what I knew now is nothing is in my way now. So now you look at Contra, you look at the new Contra, some old, some new. Me, you know, Cruel, Mads Kruger, Janai, who I mean, Janai, like you kidding me, right? And Cruel, and Cruel is the IWTV champion. He is the scariest thing in wrestling right now. And Suzuki, like what I mean, like these is something where like this is like some 2K some 2K fantasy stuff, like that's what it is, but it's real life. And so the sky's really the limit um, with that. So the battle riot, going back to that, how I talk, going in there, I butted heads with Akira in the battle riot. He kind of, we eliminated each other because he doesn't know when to fucking leave me alone. So now this Saturday, it's me versus him. First round of the Opera Cup. First time being in the Opera Cup, which is a huge honor. And even though me and Akira are not really seeing eye to eye right now, it is the first time that two Korean Americans are a part of the Opera Cup. So that's pretty dope because, I'm always about a lot of representation, which, we don't really get. So trying to, small things like this make actual big steps in what we're trying to do in the long run. So uh, this Saturday, yeah, check it out. It's going to be free on YouTube. The lineup is crazy. and my first single match for MLW in a long time. So in like 2-3 years. I think the last singles match I had, the last singles match I had was me versus Cam Broadway. That was the last in North Carolina. That was the last time. That was the last singles match. So a lot of growth, since then, man.
You mentioned a lot of people, including Minoru Suzuki, and they talk about all the time in wrestling. When I say they, is a lot of the guys who have sat in your chair, the relationships that you build along the way, and having a chance to learn from these guys, and the vets that have been here. What's it like being under the learning tree of Murder Grandpa? Minoru Suzuki.
Oh man, like it's one of those things where you wish that you had a reason, a justificated reason to speak to certain people and pick their brain. I think that's with any art profession, or or just in something where like you look up to the people before you, and that's one of those things where I got educated on Suzuki while I was wrestling. My knowledge of wrestling was not that deep in the sense where like I kind of only knew WWE from just from a kid, and then it just manifested into me just wanting to wrestle, and then I just learned so much about the history of wrestling while doing it. I think that's such an interesting way to learn. So learning about Suzuki while I'm trying to figure out my identity and seeing tape, it was like really, really inspirational. So to be able to be in a faction with and something like Contra, to share that with him and being able to be in a position to ask him things, to be able to confide, to be able to, you know, follow by example is priceless. And I'm looking really forward, I'm looking forward to it, like, it's awesome. Same thing like when I was able to learn with Simon Gotch and Fatu and the help that they gave, that they were able to bestow, and the help that they were given as well. Because when you hang around those guys, that's where the help goes. No one's bullshitting with them. No one's lying to them. The only things that people are telling these people at the top are the secrets. You know, not secrets that like can't have to be kept from everyone else, but secrets that have to be earned. So getting the nod from the powers that be to be able to sit in rooms to hear these conversations allows you to be in positions of of where you can succeed. Like you know I'm not stupid where like I know if there's a certain conversation that's happening, I know I'm gonna be in there for it, because eventually that conversation is gonna be having it's gonna be directed towards me, and that's the I mean that's and to me like that's the game. Um, so being under that learning tree, being under the learning tree of Janai, like she's been just as a peer of where we've wrestled before. We've had a singles match before, beat the shit out of each other, but her travels are, they're insane as well. What she's been able to do, and how she'd be able to just rise like a freaking rocket through talent, and then you got Cruel. I mean, he's the IWTV champion. It's not by accident. I was there when he won it. It was, it's different. And now being together, but on our terms is it's a scary thing for sure.
One of the things that I've seen MLW push really hard coming through the last year has been, they've said it's kind of a new era from MLW. You see it in both the production value, the way they're presenting it on social media, with the talent, the way you guys are it's the perfect storm for a wrestling promotion. But behind the curtain, how excited is the locker room for the new era of MLW? All the exciting new things coming, and the way everything is stepped up production wise. What's the excitement level like for you guys back there?
It's a healthy era. It's a healthy era because it's a young era too, but it also has so many OGs still there that are just in that stage of their life and their career where they get off on helping. Like that's the climate. And I feel like with the international part of it as well, like partnering with with New Japan and partnering with CMLL and partnering, you know what I mean, like all the guys that come through Aztec and Lucha, like it just creates such a different bonding experience as well, where there's just so many different styles and so many different flavors. And I think that's what's always been special about MLW is that it kind of really gets to highlight all of that, at the same time. But guys like, guys like when Bobby Fish comes in, and being able to just kind of talk to him on a peer level. And again, like learning about Bobby Fish as a wrestler, not as a young kid watching. So now I'm already meeting him as a peer. So to meet someone backstage in a locker room that already has prestige, the talk is different from the jump. It's not high it's not a meet and greet level. It's a how are you? Like, like still a sir, still respect and always respect, but it's on a different level where if I ask something, it's gonna come from a different place because he already knows I'm serious. We can X that out. I'm sitting next to you. I'm not here because I'm joking. So if I'm asking you something, it's something where I really want to learn, and that knowledge isn't going to be wasted. So when someone comes like me and you were talking, and he can say, hey man, like who helped you or who inspired or like where did you learn this? Like, and I can say his name for XYZ. Like that's something where his legacy lives on, and there's just a direct other lineage, because if I help somebody out and if it's a lesson that he taught, like he just his roots are just spreading. So I feel like that's what's cool about that locker room, and it also allows me to help my friends on how to read their the locker rooms when we're not together. Read that locker room a little differently, and how to carry yourself and things of that nature, because they help me in a lot of other ways because they're way more active than me. So they help me in terms of keeping my finger on the pulse. And if I'm able to give back by being able to like help put them on in any way, whether it's being able to talk about something that I heard that helped me in a match, or when I was able to get feedback from somebody and this is what the feedback was, and then they get to take that where they go. Or even if it's something with like networking and things like that's, these are all things that I think is beautiful about the business in general, but MLW specifically, because everyone's there to make the show better. Everyone wants to make that brand bigger than what it already is. And I think that's when everyone's on that same page that it happens. It's when other people have different goals in mind, and not in a selfish way. I mean, like, yes, in a selfish way, but not in like a vindictive way. But just you got to be able to take care of you. But this era seems to be focused on building the brand, and when everyone wants to build the brand, it's gonna like it's just gonna happen. So that's what that's what I'm excited for, is the future of what I think's gonna happen.
I like the fact that when we talk, because I'll ask a question and I'm like, that's the perfect answer. Sometimes I don't even know what the answer could be, but it's like, man. So that's what I like about the way we talk. And I always sit here too, and I'm like, I want to come back. I want to rebuttal to that. And I was like, this isn't the time, Will. This isn't the time. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, let's move on to some of the other stuff that you've got going on outside of the MLW world. You brought up Remarkable Wrestling. I've seen some of the stuff. When we talked about a year and a half ago, Remarkable was just y'all were still in the infancy, 6 months, 8 months old the last time we talked. Now you're 2 years into the run. What's new and exciting with Remarkable Wrestling?
Well, man, like what's going down at the end of June? You can check them out on Instagram and X at Remarkable Wrestling. Um, at the end of the month, they're having the first ever independent wrestling elimination chamber, and it's like a real elimination chamber. Like it's the way that it's constructed is ridiculous. Like it takes 2 trucks to build. I mean, to transport. You know what I mean? Like sun up to sundown man hours to construct. And then the people that are already involved in the match are just absolute psychopaths. So you have my trainer who, for like, he doesn't like. It's one he like Kono is a wrestler that takes insane punishment in the most casual way. Like you don't think of him as a deathmatch guy. You don't think of him as like a hardcore guy. But his last year and a half of matches have been insanity. and he's put his body through a lot, and he doesn't have to. So shout out to him, because he could win this, he could win this freaking title and earn it. And nothing, people always going to throw shade at people, like if like you are, you run a company, or you're the face of a company and you win the world title. um People want it to be earned, but if he wins this elimination chamber, he earned it, because the people that are in it are not gonna just, they're insane. uh Gabe Skye, my partner, shout out, and also again ATR with Kono too. um he's he's terrifying. Like when you stand around, like, what I mean, like that's why he's my partner, because like he's wild. And then you got Bufa, who, like, he's already, he's on his own mission. That's my blood. But he's on his own. He's on his own thing, in the sense where, like, he is looking at that title, and that's it. So anyone in that way, like, it's gonna get rough, because he also does the most ridiculous things. Like, he's God gave him a pair of boots. He's insane, right? So you have that, and then you have Percy Ryan, who, again, like, 6'1", 6'2", right? Like, uncasually taller than us, and so quick witted. He has an insane offense that, again, you don't think he's gonna break out. So then you kind of add the element of the chamber. It's just, it's over. It could be, right. Like, he's nasty. Like, he's cocky because he wins. Like, that's what I mean. Like, that's what it is. That's why people give him heat, because, like, he does great stuff, and then he tells you that it was great. And then you got KC, who he's the reigning champ right now. He's been just on a tear for, like, his entire career. So he's coming in confident. Like, his shit don't stink. And who could blame him, right? Like, shout out to him. And then you got Matt Tremont. So you have Matt Tremont, who, like, he's the bulldozer in a chamber. He likes that. So there's gonna be blood. It's gonna be wild. Like, it's gonna be, like, it's really can't miss. Like, it's never been done before. This is the first elimination chamber, like, in independent history. Like, you're about to see Matt Tremont in a chamber. Must be Gabe Skye. We're about to see the remarkable championship get defended in an elimination chamber. And I'm just, like, thankful, because I'm just gonna try and ask for a title shot after all that. So I'll let them kill each other, and then I'll just DM the winner.
Just slide in the DMs and be like, "Hey, now it's my turn. I got next."
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like, so next month, let me know when you feel better.
You brought up Gabriel Skye, your tag team partner and Above the Rest. You guys have been on a tear throughout that Northeast territory. You guys have worked against some of the best in the Northeast, like Miracle Generation with Dustin and Kylon. My question for you here is short. It's short and sweet for me, but I'm curious to know your take. In such a hot tag team division with so many big teams, and we're about to talk about another one here. Where do you rank Above the Rest right now in the tag team division? Because right now, indie tag team is hot from the Southeast all the way up to Limitless in Maine. Like, where do you rank Above the Rest? Where do you rank yourself in the tag team division in indie wrestling right now?
I mean, I don't want to sound redundant, but Above the Rest. You know what I mean? Like this, like I really feel like that. But I'm, people can say that's what I'm supposed to say, but I really do feel that way. Like, there's really not many tag teams. I don't know if there really is any tag teams right now that have such two individuals as a tag who can remain individuals but are also recognized as a unit. Like, that's something where I feel like that's hard to do. Like, if you notice, we don't have matching gear. We have two completely different styles. We have two completely different attitudes, but at the same time, everything we do is like we are symbiotic in it. It's disgusting to like it's from the mental to the physical to the to the metaphysical, whatever that word is, like that. That's what I really feel with him. I know where he's gonna be. He knows where I'm gonna be. I know what he's thinking. He knows what I'm thinking, and that's something that we are very, very proud of, that we can be two completely different entities but also be recognized as one force. And I think that alone allows us to be an incredible tag team. And again, there are people who are incredible tag teams that we have not faced yet, so there's I'm gonna leave that up for discussion, because we're always down. We're always down to have one. So with Gabe being able to do his thing, for me being able to do mine, and for us to do our thing, I rank us. I gotta rank us at number one. I really do.
Another one of the tag teams on the indie circuit is MSP, Danger Kid and Aiden Agro. You guys, this is one of those situations where over the period of time across two promotions, you guys had three matches that built to a 2 out of 3 falls match at Limitless. What's it like for you guys as a tag team? You talked about how important the chemistry is when you guys have a chance to go against another team like MSP that has that same organic chemistry between those guys. What was it like for you to be able to have a chance to work 3 matches with the same people, leading to that massive 2 out of 3 falls match at Limitless?
It was something where it's funny, because I remember telling Gabe, like, before all this, I was like, "Yo, it's crazy. We never wrestled MSP before. I feel like they're really, they've been popping for a while, and then they've been kind of wrestling all the people that we've wrestled, but we've never even crossed paths." And then, like, the next week or month or whatever, it was really soon. It was like boom, 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 boom. We was like, damn, like, we're fighting each other a lot. Um, it's been incredible to have that feud, that last feud with them. And I think it's ironic too how eager I was to work with them, and then Storytale ending, we were the ones to, again, no pun intended, lay it to rest. So that's something that I take pride in, and I know Gabe does as well, and I know both of them do. And we'll always be able to have that with us. And then thanks to IWTV, we have the footage, so we could always watch it back. So yeah, shout out to them.
Let's talk Deadlock Pro. When you debut at a new territory, especially like a hot and up and coming promotion like Deadlock, what's the excitement level like to get out there and show above the rest to a new crowd?
Deadlock was definitely a goal to work for, just from their production, their following, the way they handled the way they handled business, the way they handled their talent, the way that they took care of everybody. That's largely, again, those are the reasons why. Their fan base, their ring looks sick, their camera work, right? Shout out to Harry. Um, but I remember how proud I was to get a positive response for certain things in MLW at that stage. I looked at Deadlock as one of the top indie promotions right now, at a level where I feel that they can be kind of like where MLW is at, because their support and their production and their professionalism. So to have that moment with Gabe is what I've always wanted in MLW. So it's something where I was like, let's own this night. These, like this, let's make them know, like who we are, and make them want more every time. So we've been proud to be given that opportunity a few times, kind of show that to where we feel we've definitely made our mark there, and we're definitely, just waiting to get back.
All right, Tristen. Short, sweet, easy, and to the point, man. I genuinely appreciate it. As always, this is the easiest part of the episode for me because I shut the hell up. I get out of the way. Plug everything you want. Put anything you have over in the next coming weeks. This will go out tomorrow in audio format. So anything within the next couple weeks you want to put over, man, it's yours.
Yeah. This Saturday, you want to check out MLW's YouTube. They're going to be dropping an episode. And it's round one of the Opera Cup. It's me versus AKIRA. It's a good one. It's a good one, man. I'm gonna kill him. So, and then Thursday, Wrestling Open, you're gonna want to catch Big Boofa, Desmond Cole, taking on Ray Jazz, and hopefully he just shuts him up. We got, what else we got? We got Remarkable Wrestling. You want to check out their page on all platforms at Remarkable Wrestling. And I also want to shout out Gabe, Skye, and I want to shout out Above the Rest. I want to shout out the Contra Unit. I want to shout out MLW and Blood and Thunder. July 18th. I apologize. July 18th. It's gonna be crazy. So thank you for having me on again, bro. Because it's always a pleasure to talk, man. I could talk to you for days.
Man, it's always a pleasure, Tristen, man. I really appreciate you stopping by and chatting about some wrestling with me.
Yeah, man. Thank you, bro.
For the Concrete Dragon, I am the Will Gray. Thanks for stopping by and listening, my people.